Hello, and welcome to a special emergency edition of Alton Brown Cooks Food, where we will be dealing with the explosive microscopic parasite of the moment, cyclospora. We have this day managed to coax a cyclospora in his mature male phase, what is called a macrogametocyte, to speak with us, although he has declined to give us his name for the sake of anonymity.
Actually, I don't have a name. I'm barely a he, just so you know. It's not like I've got a, down there.
Understood. Yes, well, you realize a lot of people are unhappy with you right now.
Yeah. So unfair.
Well, how do you figure?
Look, we're just going through our life cycles, man. Just doing the work, living the dream.
Well, perhaps you could share a little bit more about your life, as a parasite.
Yeah, parasite. Well, I came into the world as an oocyst.
Oh, is that like an egg?
Yeah, kind of like an egg in armor. Tough.
And you were delivered by?
Oh, usual way. Poo! Human poo. Scat, stool, bottom bomb, number 2, deuce, shit.
Okay, we get the point.
Freshly pooped oocysts are not infectious. Yeah, don't normally pass directly from person to person.
Good to know. I see.
So I spent the next week or two concentrating on sporulation.
I'm sorry, sporulation?
Rearranging my internal structures so I could become infectious. It's kind of a rite of passage with us. Then I just, waited for a human to swallow me up.
From where exactly?
Well, who knows? Water, soil, produce. We're really good at getting into nooks and crannies and grabbing hold. I got some cousins who go for raspberries, but I've always been a lettuce guy.
Fascinating.
Once you swallow me, my shell opens in your GI tract, releasing 4 sporozoites, which gentrify the cell lining in your small intestines, and we start producing merozoites.
I'm sorry,
Merozoites. Yeah, it's kind of like asexual offspring. Clones, basically lots of me, without having to go through the awkward dating process. Then, more intestinal cells in the linings, and your system supplies the inflammation, and then,
Yes, explosive diarrhea.
Yeah, totally ass-plosive. Cramping, loss of appetite, dehydration, the usual. Then, as things so often do in these situations, things get sexual. Yeah.
Do tell.
Well, some of us become female forms called macrogametocytes, while others, myself included, become male forms, microgametocytes, which produce bunches of macrogametes. Yeah, sperm. Well, like sperm. Kind of, sort of. So
we get sick because you get off?
Busy. Now, your ass is already a brown fountain.
Sorry, a brown what? Did you say a brown
nope. Anyway, I produce a swarm of macrogametes, and one of those hooks up with your female macrogamete and produces adorable little zygotes. Resistant wall forms around it, creating new oocysts. It's a circle of life, man.
Kind of like the Lion King.
Yeah, only the Africa savannah is you, your guts.
Well, nobody likes you.
Whatever. You know what they say, when it comes to food safety?
No, what?
You can have it good, you can have it safe, or you can have it cheap. Pick any two.
So you're saying this is our fault?
I'm just saying, maybe don't leave leafy greens through a massive centralized system where huge volumes are washed, cut, mixed, and shipped from regional networks so fast that by the time you figure out that I've come along for the ride, a few thousand folks need seatbelts on their toilets, and maybe all that lettuce needs to be shredded and commingled into one centralized point. Because like Dr. Malcolm says...
Life, finds a way.
Damn right it does.
He was talking about dinosaurs.
Well, you're well on your way, aren't you? But what do I know? I'm just a successful, complex, single-cell parasite, not an aging has-been TV star struggling for relevance. What?
You're a real pain in the ass.
You have no idea. Yet.
Well, thank you for coming by. So this all begs the question, can we enjoy our produce, especially lettuce, while avoiding the explosive discomforts of severe diarrhea? Indeed we can, because although cyclospora does resist washing and bleaching and a host of other defensive countermeasures. It simply cannot survive heat in excess of 158 degrees Fahrenheit, which I'm going to round up to 160 just to be on the safe side. So, we're going to cook it. Right now, one of my favorite foods on earth is Caesar salad. I'm crazy about this stuff. But these days, unless I can secure a local source, I make mine with grilled romaine. It's easy. You just split your romaine hearts, brush the cut side with oil, and grill it over high direct heat. Turn it a couple of times, chop and dress with your favorite Caesar salad dressing, grated parm, croutons, etc. Or you could make grilled Caesar salad soup. Okay, start by cutting a few thick slices of sourdough bread. You're gonna need just 5 ounces total for the recipe, but an extra few never hurt, especially if you really like grilled toast. I usually also halve my slices to make them easier to handle on the grill. Then trim the root end off of a large leek and then split it lengthwise through the pale green and white, leaving the dark green to hold things together. Then rotate 90 degrees and slice through again. And make sure all the sheaths are free, and if they're not, cut off more of the root end. And go ahead and dunk that in clean water a few times to clear any dirt or sand that may be lodged between the layers. Then allow that to drain. Next, split the romaine hearts, being careful to bifurcate them so that each section has some core to hold it together at the base. Things will be very messy otherwise. 3 hearts, typically enough. Fabrication complete, we begin oiling and grilling. I usually use a light olive oil for this, but you could use your favorite grilling oil, whatever that may be. I just wouldn't use a strongly flavored extra virgin olive oil. That would be wasted and probably bitter. All right, get the bread pieces lubed up and over high heat. And then get the leek lubed and on the fire. And remember to turn that every minute or so until, soft and lightly charred. The bread, you're gonna have to check every couple of minutes, but you know how bread is. It's not burned, then it's burned. Go ahead and oil the cut sides of the romaine, but I usually don't put those on the grill until the bread comes off. 5 minutes total. When the lettuce does go on, just char the cut side over the high heat. Be careful though, because they're high in water and they don't burn for what seems forever. And when they finally dry out a little bit, they darken very, very quickly, which is good. We want that, but I wouldn't leave them down longer than 3 minutes. Now, as soon as they're cool enough to handle, chop the leek and the romaine into 1-inch pieces and keep them separated, please. Also, go ahead and tear the bread into pieces. Now, you're gonna need 75 grams to go into the soup. That's 2 ounces. And you'll need 85 grams to become the garnish for the soup. That is 3 ounces exactly. So set those aside. The rest, well, fetch down your favorite 4-quart pot or saucepan and add a quart of good chicken stock. I mean, if you're gonna buy it, buy something that tastes good, and if you can possibly use homemade, that would be better, right? Add all of the leek and also a 75 to 100 gram hunk of Parmesan rind. Bring that to a simmer over medium heat. Quite a few specialty stores and even some Megamart cheese departments these days sell just Parmesan rinds, the very outside hard part of the Parmesan wheel, which they usually sell for less than half, certainly what would be charged for the actual cheese. Now, why would they do this? Well, because these things are like time-release umami bombs. Okay, you just take a chunk, any of these, and just drop in any liquid and simmer for a while. Some people do use them as dog snacks, and that's perfectly fine. I just simmer them in things first, then I take them out and use them as dog snacks. Or sometimes I just eat them. They're good. When simmerage is attained, let up and reduce the heat, or just move it to low heat, and simmer for 15 minutes, set a timer. Now, while that's happening, park a 10-inch skillet over medium heat, all right, for long enough to get hot, about a minute. Meanwhile, pop the top on a small can of anchovies. Now, I am a huge fan of an American brand called Fishwife, and their cans typically yield 10 anchovies plus 2 tablespoons of ridiculously delicious oil. No, don't ooh anchovy me, okay? Not only are these the best umami delivery systems on earth, they're packed with omega-3s, protein, iron, selenium, and since they're at the bottom of the food chain, very low in mercury. So I put them in a lot of foods you might not expect them in. And I'm not going to tell you because if you come over, you won't know. Ha! All right. That goes into the pan now, hot pan, along with a tablespoon of virgin olive oil. Doesn't have to be extra. Now, you'll notice there's going to be a little bit of water-based liquid in the anchovy oil. Don't worry about those. We're going to get other stuff in here before those start popping all over the place. So once that shimmers, obviously, the bread goes into the pan. Just toss every now and then and fry gently until crispy and brown. It's going to take about 3 minutes. Then kind of scoot the bread out around the sides of the pan and add the capers and cook for about 30 seconds. They might pop, which is a delightful dance. So when that's all fried up, like I said, 30 seconds on the capers. Remove everything, evacuate to a paper towel lined pan, and season with black pepper. Et voila, that is your delicious topping, your garnish for your soup. Well done. All right, after 15 minutes of simmering, stir in the charred romaine, as well as a teaspoon of dried chervil. Chervil, it's a French herb. Trust me on this. Hard to find fresh, but you can get it dry, and you definitely want this. All right, then you're going to simmer for another 3 minutes. Then kill the heat and stir in 2 ounces of the grilled sourdough and, in all my years of talking into appliances, I don't think that I have presented a single recipe calling for watercress. It's not because I don't like it. I love it. It's because historically it has not always been readily available, but it's a little more so now, more than it used to. If you cannot get watercress for this application, do consider baby spinach, but it won't be quite the same. Oh, and don't worry about the bag. Watercress has not been involved in any funky outbreaks that I know of yet. Get all that watercress in the pot. You're gonna think, oh my gosh, I don't have enough soup to cover. Don't worry, just press it down into the liquid best you can. There's going to be plenty, trust me. Cover and wait for 10 minutes. This gives us time to talk about blenders. I've tried out quite a few models through the years. And you know what, I have to say that the new ones coming on the market now are kind of irritating because they seem to trade straightforward, tear and shed up for complexity and tech-centric features and smooth touchscreens, multiple settings ranging from, everything from, ice grinding to whipping up smoothies to both liquefying and pureeing, although I honestly don't know the difference. And of course, there are new safety features now that have been added. So in a lot of these new machines, you can't turn them on unless the lid's in place. Personally, I've got zero patience for this hoo-ha, all right? I want a strong, efficient engine of culinary destruction, summoned forth through the actuation of physical controls, which is why the standard around this kitchen is the Vitamix 5200. Sidebar, I've got no relationship whatsoever with the people that manufacture these cruelly efficient devices. All right, now, check out these physical controls. This provides all the interface you really need. You got your on and off, you switch between full speed and variable, and here's the volume knob, which will take your ingredients from a gentle spin to maelstроmic oblivion. Zero screwing around. It's big and heavy, you say? Yes, because this base houses 2-peak horsepower motor, which is like some Mad Max level stuff. Also, the carafe itself, specially designed to create vortexes, and the blades are actually a little on the dull side. So instead of just cutting through everything, they pulverize. The lid has a removable central port, so you can drizzle in oil or let out steam, etc. Standard carafe, 64 ounces, which is great for me, but they also make kind of like a little pony version for smaller jobs, which I like. Now, is this blender expensive? It ain't cheap, but I think I've had this for at least a decade. All right, I'm on my third carafe. Here's the first one, but they sell these separately, which is good. Beware of generics. They suck. Enough talk. We blend. Okay, after the 10-minute soak, spoon your primordial soup into the blender carafe. Now, in this model carafe, the soup only goes about 2/3 up the side of the carafe, which I think is safe. But if your carafe is smaller and it goes higher than 2/3, I think you should break your batch in half, as anything more than that will threaten to geyser hot soup all around the kitchen, which is never as much fun as it sounds. All right, now put the lid back on, but do not leave the center little plug in. We need to allow steam a way out, and then that's how you do it. But you do want to put something like a towel over it, a kitchen towel, or otherwise we'll have the geyser effect. So get that secured there, and then start the blender at its lowest speed and slowly accelerate to its higher speed for exactly 1 minute. All right, after 1 minute, shut the beast down. But if you've got a variable speed the way I do, don't just shut it down, turn the variable speed all the way to 0. Because one time I didn't do that and I accidentally hit the power switch and we're still getting stuff off the ceiling. Know what I mean? So get that turned all the way off. Now, the soup is mostly blended, but I do have a few additions that I want to make now that things have kind of cooled down at least a little bit. So here's what we're going to add. We're going to add 10 anchovies. That's all the anchovies in the can that I have, the fishwife can. If you've got like a big can, just 10, don't add the whole can. And I know some of you were thinking, oh, I'm just going to add 5, anchovies because he won't know. I will know. And I'll be ever so displeased with you. 10 anchovies, you must trust me on this, all right? So the anchovies go in. Also, 1 tablespoon of honey. I don't care what kind, fine. And then the volatiles, the reasons I wanted things to cool down a little bit. 2 tablespoons of freshly squeezed lemon juice and 2 tablespoons of sherry vinegar. Please do not think, oh, I'll just use apple cider vinegar. Please don't. Please get some sherry vinegar. So sherry vinegar goes in, and also a teaspoon of kosher salt and half a teaspoon of ground white pepper. Come here. Lights! Although white and black peppercorns are the same, botanically speaking, that is the berries of the Piper nigrum vine, they are processed very differently, and that results in a very, very different flavor. Black peppercorns are picked when immature and then sun-dried with their skins left intact, okay? White peppercorns are left to mature on the vines and then they're harvested and soaked in water. The outer skin is removed completely and then the berries are dried. The result, 2 products that are really night and day in flavor, with the white pepper being much milder and earthier than the spicier black peppercorns. Now, steam fermented white peppercorns, which are typically labeled fermented, or even funkier with loads of umami, seek them out if you can. Now, although a lot of recipe writers will call for white pepper just when they don't want little black specks in the food, I'm talking to you, vichyssoise. For me, this is a top rack flavor that never fails to inspire guests to say, "What the hell is in this food?" in a good way. Lights! Do we not pay the bill? Okay. So, pepper goes in the soup, the white pepper. And then I like to add one more white thing. You could leave it out if you want to, but I sure wouldn't, and that's half a cup of heavy cream for texture and a little bit more fat, because the truth is there's not a lot of fat in here, and it'll tie the room together. So just trust me, half a cup of whole heavy cream, not half and half heavy cream. Okay, now, relid, same as before with the towel, because there's still a good bit of heat in there. Slowly start the blender and bring it up to high for 2 full minutes. Although you could certainly serve hot from the blender. In the summer, I typically chill it by moving to a big bowl set into an ice bath, a metal bowl. Stir every few minutes and the soup will chill down nicely, and it'll thicken a bit as it does, which I like. To serve hot or cold, simply top with the crouton and caper melange, if you like, and enjoy. Like most soups, this grilled Caesars will, of course, improve with time, which is why I typically make it a day ahead and refrigerate. I know it seems like I make everything a day ahead, but honestly, things get better with time. Patience tastes good, just saying. Anyway, this is how I get around the likes of you.
I had friends in there.
I don't care.
You know, that could easily be recontaminated. Just drop one piece of raw lettuce in there and...
That's why I keep all raw vegetation below the cooked food in the fridge to minimize cross-contamination.
You know, you're gonna slip up, Buster. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but soon. And when you do, you better have an endorsement deal with Shaman because I'm putting you down. Good day to you, sir.
Actually, that's not a bad idea. Charmin, are you listening? Anyway, this concludes this special emergency edition of